There's been at least one time in every kid's life where they looked up free games in the App Store. Because I know when I was little, $1.99 seemed like the biggest investment of my life. And how was I going to get the money inside the phone? So what I, as well as many other kids, were left with was searching for any free games that would keep our small, developing minds entertained. Games like Plumber Crack. While doing research for this video, I'd come across this game that I'd totally forgotten about. The objective was pretty simple. You throw objects into this plumber's crack to gain coins to buy your plumber new outfits as well as different throwable objects. Now, I don't know why I found this game so entertaining when I was little. I downloaded it again for this video to see if I still enjoyed it. And I do. But I remember I used to play this game all the time. I specifically remember playing it at church. I don't know if my mom ever saw me playing it while we were there, but now that I think about it, it's probably the reason she'd take me to church in the first place. Looking back on it, a lot of the mobile games I used to play should have probably raised some concern from the same developers. Office Jerk, a game where you terrorize this poor guy just trying to do his work. This game is pretty crazy if you actually think about it, because this guy's really just chilling doing what he's supposed to be doing while you, the player, are throwing pencils, pies, and whole monitors at his head at full speed. And in that same vein, beat the boss. The only goal in this game was to beat your boss so viciously that he drops all his money, then you use that money to buy more weapons to beat your boss with. I think in one of the games you can even put a picture of someone's face on the boss's face. And I specifically remember when I was little putting my sister's face on it whenever she made me mad. There was also the far less superior Beat the Buddy, where you had to beat the buddy until all his coins fell out. Yeah, I'm not sure why there was such a pattern of committing atrocities on people for money in these games. And then on the opposite side of the spectrum, you had the endless runner games, where now you're the one trying to run away from people trying to do unspeakable things to you. Games like Temple Run, where you had to escape these monkey demon things trying to catch you. Seeing these things starting to catch up to you had to be one of the scariest things as a kid. You'll be on a crazy streak and you'll trip on like a branch or something, and suddenly these things are right behind you. There was also Subway Surfers, a game I used to play all the time that sort of got in a revival on TikTok after gameplay was being put at the bottom of like every video for a while, because nowadays people are addicted to consuming as much dopamine as they can. Speaking of addiction, Flappy Bird. Now this game was one of the biggest mobile games like ever. Almost everyone had it and everyone was trying to beat each other's scores until it got banned for being too addicting. At the peak of its virality, Nguyen announced he would remove Flappy Bird from the app stores because he felt guilty that the game's addictive nature ruined lives. Now, if Flappy Bird was the thing ruining your life at the time, you have a much bigger problem on your hands. Because when I was a kid, I thought it was fun comparing scores with friends, but not to the point where I was addicted to it, because at the end of the day, the game was boring after a while. You don't unlock anything, there's no achievements, nothing at all like the far superior Jetpack Joyride. This game came out before Flappy Bird and is essentially the same concept, but is leagues better in every way. First off, the main character, Barry Steak Fries, his absolute stud, is flying around dodging obstacles with a machine gun jetpack. There's lasers, missions to complete, costumes to unlock, and Flappy Bird. Why Jetpack Joyride didn't become the cultural phenomenon that Flappy Bird was is beyond me. But what I do know is I'll take Barry Steak Fries over Fabby. Speaking of birds, Angry Birds. Now, if you want to talk about cultural phenomenon, Angry Birds is the definition. Almost every kid in elementary had an Angry Birds backpack. Angry Birds was the king of mobile apps at one point. It was free, it was fun, it was challenging. So many different versions of the game came out, and I remember trying to get every single one. I specifically remember the space one being my favorite, and now you can't even find it on the App Store anymore. There were so many mobile games that had huge cult followings when I was in elementary. An obvious one being Five Nights at Freddy's. Now, I know it wasn't originally a mobile game, but when the first FNAF came out on mobile, every kid wanted it. If you had FNAF on your iPad as a kid, everyone would want to sit around and watch as you played. Especially since you had to pay to get the game, not a lot of kids had it. I remember every day after school, my friend would take his iPad out and we would just sit and watch him play until our parents picked us up. The craze over that game at the time was unmatched because everyone would want whatever new FNAF was out at the time. The lore and theories surrounding it had everyone hyped for the next game. Another classic mobile game I'd totally forgotten about was Lumsy Ninja. If you never had this game growing up, you were missing out. You could torture your ninja like in Beat the Boss, but you could also train him to be the next dragon warrior. This game had a story behind it that you would find clues to the more you progressed in the game, but for the life of me, I could never beat this game. I mean, it was definitely beatable, but I just never had the patience as a kid to beat it. I know there's a lot more of these mobile games that I didn't mention, but if I didn't mention them, they probably weren't that fun.